Hello, Sagittarius. So good to see you. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is your October reading. It's going to help you through the month ahead, and you can use it for sun, rising, and moon. We're going to start off with some channeled messages, and basically I was meditating right before beginning this, and interestingly enough, I found a little place to sit down with Apollo in my bedroom. Out of the corner of my eye, lo and behold, I saw this bee. Now, this is a bit of an optical illusion. I had to basically put my finger against the window so that the bee would focus. Otherwise, I was focusing on the other side. But I love the capture here because it almost looks like that bee wants to land on my finger. So this is your totem because, again, it came to me while meditating. So first things first, this is a very busy symbol. A worker bee, divine feminine energy, like Empress, the boss. If not the boss, someone who knows how to get everything done. I guess the queen would be the Empress, but this would be pretty high up there. Let's put it as Queen of Wands. Anything that you really see that you want to complete, you have a chance this month of, at the very least, making some significant progress, if not finishing it, accomplishing your goals. I like all of that as a symbol. This is also connected to fertility and abundance because as a bee goes around and pollinates the flowers, well, as it drinks the nectar, it basically mixes the pollen and helps a flower create a seed. So if you plant a seed of intention right now, it's fertile ground. A lot can come through in this moment. Bees are also symbolic of teamwork. I would put the energy of the hive under the sign of the, or the card of the Hierophant. So creating an organizational structure in your life, diet and exercise, school and business, anything that you really want to bring order to, you can do that as well. The only challenge that I see, and again, it was because as I was meditating, this little guy kind of kept moving around and I found it difficult sometimes to be still because I'm like, what is that guy doing? Even though there was a pane of glass between us. So you may have a hard time focusing, slowing down, meditating, being present, and celebrating the moment. So I invite you to do that this month because from everything that I could pick up on, it's going to be busy. In real-time channeling, the other thing that's coming through, stop focusing on the timelines and the deadlines so much. There is, for some of you, such a focus on that there's a lack of presence or you might be missing the bigger picture. So make sure that you're happy with what it is that you're doing before you sign on the dotted line or deliver it or shake someone's hand. Make sure that it feels right. Don't just do something because there's a deadline or an expectation. And that's the last message coming through in real-time channeling. All right, at this point, we're going to basically take a look at the cards here and see what additional messages Spirit wants to bring through. I'm going to be looking at the themes that the bee represented. Teamwork, fertility and abundance, and also having a hard time slowing down. Even bees rest for a few hours a night, so let's see where we can find areas for rest and relaxation as well. All right, let's get started. Let's take a couple of moments here and focus on clearing your mind and setting intentions. Take a deep breath. Let go of any existing thoughts that you have on the exhale, and focus on a starry sky. See a single star shining on you, and in that starlight, I'd like you to welcome in angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and imagine that you are connecting to your highest self as well. All right, with that being said, let's welcome in messages for your highest good, and let's begin. There's also one card that fell on the floor, so let me grab that too. Wow. Okay. We've got some powerful messages as we look at Destiny. I'll save that for later. I don't think I've ever gotten a triple card in that, but this month it's special for you. Before we move on to the catalyst, I had to show you Apollo, who is just so in the zone right now. And I mentioned that I'd be looking out for areas to rest. When I looked at Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities, we have the Four of Swords, and he is showing us in real time what that Four of Swords looks like. Yes, I'm talking about you, buddy. I'll take the spotlight off of him so he doesn't wake up there too much. Let's move back into the catalyst here. We have the Truth coming through as the turtle, and this card is really beautiful, actually. The turtle is an ancient symbol in many mythologies and many religions. It was there at the beginning, and it represents not just the truth, but the memory of what happened. What I'm getting for some of you this month is that there's a person in your life that has almost like rewritten the dialogue, the narrative, the history to serve their own sort of perspective, and it may not actually be what happened. So here's the message. You were both there. You both saw it. You both experienced it. And the truth probably is somewhere between the two of you, interestingly enough, because we all have biases. We all have agendas and things that we need and want and all of that. So the encouragement for those of you that might find yourself at this impasse is try to meet in the middle and try to listen and understand each other's perspectives. And together you might be able to focus the lens a little bit more. So there's a relationship message there for some of you. For the rest of you, it's just a call to lead by example. So the one thing that the Seven of Swords and the Devil and the Moon cards do not want and will kind of retreat from is truth, integrity, and basically just transparency, being clear as possible. And if you say you're going to do something, you do it. This is a chance for you to light the way with truth. And you may simply be at a point where you think to yourself, I've got nothing to lose. I have to say what I feel. I have to say what's on my mind. And by all means, since this came through in the catalyst, now is the time to do so. Let's look at the cards and see what the overarching energy is. It's really interesting that we have mostly upright cards, but you have three reversals here. Some of the energy from the past, trying to right a wrong, trying to work your way through something. Definitely see that. I see an opportunity that's coming through for you, and this is a chance for you to kind of feel it out, see if it really feels right for you as well. In the environment, it may not be in your own energy. There's a challenge that many of you are dealing with, and the reason that I highlighted Apollo and we talked about the busy bee is indeed we have spirit coming through and saying, if you can rest a little bit, then you can recalibrate, then you can really embrace this. There may even be another opportunity that's waiting. So just a quick look at all the cards, but let's start with the center one, the King of Cups. This is the main thing to focus on whenever you watch this reading. The card is reversed and the cup is reversed. And this is really saying in this moment in time that it's okay to have a good cry. It's okay to let things out. It's okay just to express your thoughts and feelings. It doesn't even have to be in an overtly or overly emotional way. It's just saying, this is important to me. Are we clear on that? You could be clearing the air. But something has to happen first so that this, the heart, feels respected, feels seen. And if there's anything that you're carrying, going back to this turtle card, the burden of knowing the truth and keeping a secret, for instance, it has to see the light of day. So it feels like not only is it validating and healing, but it might also turn everything around for you. Some of you may have had to stay quiet about someone or something longer than you wanted to. And the universe is kind of saying now is the time to speak your truth, especially if it was something that was wrong and you want to kind of like go back and rectify that. For the rest of you, it's just a very sensitive period of time. There may be a lot of intuitive downloads coming through, a lot of creativity. You may be taking on a lot energetically at work, in relationships, etc., and it's taking a toll emotionally. So take care of yourself. This is the main thing here. Get enough sleep. Some of you may even be having a hard time going to sleep. And again, this could have to do with stress management. Look at her looking at that device there. Even when she's in bed, both of these cards where she's laying down. She's working or worrying. I'll show you that real quick. But I think that could be one of the main things here is creating stricter and stronger boundaries so that you're not carrying work way past, the work day to bed and beyond. And if there's stress in the environment, this could be a friend or a family member, that you're not absorbing so much that it's inhibiting your ability to rest, recalibrate, and enjoy some of the blessings. You got 2 aces this month. This first ace here represents the ability for something new to be coming into your life. It could be an offer in work for those of you that are looking for a job. You may also simply be trying to get a handle on your money. Look at that ace holding the coin. This can be you deciding to sell, offer, or somehow put something out into the universe and people are saying, yeah, I'm interested in that. So we see very receptive energy when it comes to money and opportunities. In love, this can be an invitation to connect. So the important thing with these two is that you're feeling what the other person is feeling. What I'm getting with the reversal of the King of Cups could be a lack of reciprocity or someone who's not yet ready, not on the same level. So, I have a phrase that I like to remind people of, which is don't force the connection. I feel like there may be an opportunity here for love, but wait until both of the aces are upright. And if we look here, the outcome shows that that person may be able to get there, or you may be able to get there, but there is no rush. We need to work through the stress. We need to make sure that you're rested first. Eventually that ace can happen, but it needs to be mutual and there needs to be a level of reciprocity happening. Also, this is a time to make sure that if there's something that you need or want, you get it in writing and put it in contractual form, because again, it feels like things are starting to move in the right direction. As we take a look here at the deep past, we have judgment coming through. This, as I'm first interpreting it, can represent someone else's decision, their own free will to do what they want to do that is somehow not matching with maybe your own wisdom. You may know the truth, you may know what's better, but if they've already decided and already embarked upon it and they're not inviting feedback, it's their choice to make. So one thing that this card gives you the freedom to do is to move on, because that's their choice, that's their life, that's their path. Sometimes it's harder when it's a child or a loved one to let them make a decision that you may not be aligned with. But if it is a declaration, I'm doing this, this is my choice, I'm happy, and that's coming from them, so be it. Now, this can also represent a second chance. For many of you, you may have gone through a really challenging situation in your life. Could have been financially, emotionally, health-wise. This can even be a brush with death. These things really make us wiser in the end because we know what matters, right? You don't want to sweat the small stuff. That's the other thing that comes through. In this moment in time, it's almost like you're getting a do-over. Now you get to apply all of the wisdom, all of the truth, all of the things that you've been learning and make a better choice for yourself. You can't control other people's lives, but you can certainly control how you react to their choices and also what you get to and want to do with your own life, okay? So this is encouraging you to embrace second chances, to rise to the occasion, and also if there's a call, a higher calling, I must do this because it feels right, because if I don't do it now, when will I do it? That you listen to that call and make the necessary changes. That's all this card is really, I say all. That's the main thing that this card is really encouraging you to do. In the recent past, again, now I'm picking up on a common theme here with control. Releasing the need to fix everyone and everything, releasing the need to control someone or steer them in a different direction, because until they're ready to receive it, it's not worth your time. And you're wasting a lot of energy trying to take the wheel. So this card in reverse is saying, just focus on you in this moment in time. It's okay. It's not selfish. It's self-sustaining, and it's actually going to help you build a firmer foundation. So we basically have a card here that represents a phoenix rising from the ashes. And now with this new energy, it's a chance to go in the right direction. I'm just noticing she has these beautiful star earrings. So this is also about you just blazing forward with your own brilliance, your own light, your own star power, and not letting anybody take the wheel from you either. So this could be someone else who disagrees with you. All the stuff that I just said, it could be your parent, your friend, your mentor, and they're like, I don't want you to do that, or I don't think you should do that. You're in control. And they may try to take the wheel from you, but you're going to take the wheel back and say, no, this is how I'm going to do it because it's what's right for me. So it's sometimes challenging to speak your truth in that way, but that's what we're getting here, is to speak and live your truth, okay? It's your life. You get to do that if you need to. Now things are starting to shift. So we had a heavier card here at the center because the King of Cups was reversed, so the emotions were weighing more heavily upon him. Now the page is upright here, Page of Cups. She's also bringing in more. So she's looking at this, she's looking at herself. There's another ace here on the side that's eventually coming in. Good stuff starts to happen when you honor your heart. Love yourself, lead with love, and what does that mean? It means conversations. Assume the best and try to help and try to heal it to the best of your capacity, and then love and let be, right? Live and let be. There could be new love coming in. It feels like if you're not ready the first time, the second time around, it's better. Also, by the way, be discerning. If this person, the first one, isn't good enough, there's a better match out there. Don't take the first job, the first person, the first thing that comes across your path. Wait until there is mutual admiration, mutual connection, and your heart starts to skip a beat, okay? Speak what's on your mind here, because pages are communicative, and she's talking about the heart since she's a Page of Cups. Now is the time, now is the place. We then get kind of like call and answer. We have a Page of Wands here. Your passion can inspire others. And the power of 2 is coming through for you, much like it did for other signs this month. So to me, these are teammates. These are people that can really help one another see how it should go. But interestingly enough, when I pulled this page, if we look at it here, they're not looking in the same direction. So this page is looking this way, this page is looking that way. What we really need to do is get them to see each other. So it may be important for you to really pay attention to timing and timelines. If you need to have a conversation but someone's focused on something else, take a temperature, take a pulse check and say, okay, is now a good time? And if it isn't, say, when you're ready, call me, or let's put something else on the calendar. Because you don't want to squander this moment. We have 2 pages, 2 ideas. We have 2 aces. I feel like everything can work out. The only thing that can take you out of your power right now is someone being in a bad mood, bad environment, a lack of sleep on either side, or someone who's not in the office or isn't at home or isn't present energetically or emotionally. So we want to make sure that the coast is clear, that the environment is sort of conducive to the conversation, and everything can work out. In love, we have 2 very youthful cards coming through. You could be any age, but you might feel like a kid again. And if you haven't felt that way in a long time, good for you. It's good at any age or any stage to have that sense of love or partnership or friendship, okay? Because it can be any of those, love with a capital L. When I look at you, things are moving, you're moving. You may be constantly kind of zigzagging around this month, or you may be planning a trip. 6 of Swords can also be moving on from this deep past sort of, close call or difficult energy that you had to overcome, but you are starting to take that first step towards recovery, towards basically a better shore, a better path in front of you. Are you steering or are you the passenger? This is the question. There's so much power energy that wants to come through. Your King of Cups at the center, the Chariot here, but the Chariot's reversed. So, a couple of notes with this. If there's something that you need to fix or finish from the past, unfinished business, by all means go ahead and do that now so that there's no anchor that is inhibiting the speed with which you can go to the next sort of level. This is also reminding you that in any moment you can either have a forward-looking lens or a backward-looking lens. There's so much more to be gained by focusing on the future and the present, learning from the past, but not constantly thinking, I wish I could have, if I only, would have, and kind of beating yourself up, okay? Mostly I'm just getting traveling and movement from this, and that's quite good. Now here are the 2 challenges, the biggest challenges. Yes, we got the 10 of Swords, but we also get an idea of why it's coming through. So, she might be giving too much weight to one opinion. Nowadays, we can kind of imagine that she might be looking at a social media comment and she was having a good day and someone said something and it took her out of that. Could also be after hours, she's done with work and she's getting a text. Or it's a perfect day and someone sends her something that they shouldn't. Whatever it is, let's not let that one message, that one moment, that one opinion pull you out of a really good trajectory because we have 2 pages and 2 aces. This is a moment or an environment around you, but it isn't. It may be time to move on, by the way. And if you're looking for someone or something, there are opportunities in 2s, 2 different people, 2 different places. So if you don't like where you're at, this can represent arguments. So if you're in a relationship and communication is broken down, it might be time to move on or to seek help. If you're at work and it's burnout, this can just be burnout energy, like they work you until you're exhausted, sick, or quit. Again, that's something to think about. This can be noisy neighbors or just people that are talking over you, yelling, or they're just short. There's something about this where the universe is trying to help you, give yourself permission to move in a different direction, because this signifies you this month, and this is what you're moving away from, and you have my encouragement and the card's encouragements to basically do so if you need to. One of the things that you want to make sure that you do before you make any major decision or have any important conversation is get some rest. Again, we can take a look right here at Apollo. He is relaxing. He's helping kind of train us to do exactly what that card is showing. So make time for rest, make time for meditation, take a nap if you can. It doesn't have to be, enormous periods of time. Every day, if you start or end it with a 5-minute setting of intentions or listening to some music, anything you can do to decompress and reset, it's going to be really important. Just a couple of other notes with the 4 of Swords. So we see her stressing out here. One thing that I've learned in my life is things are almost invariably better tomorrow. If you just let go of trying to fix it, trying to control it, worrying about all the things that might go wrong, and just get some sleep and face tomorrow with a clean slate, you'll be so much better off than worrying about all of the potential things that may go right or may go wrong. Just take it one step at a time, one breath at a time. It might also be time to take a look at your sleeping quarters. So there could be multiple things going on here. First of all, the distraction of the television. I currently don't have a TV in my bedroom, and I highly recommend it. Or if you have one, maybe put it in a sort of direction where you're not looking straight at it. It's bad feng shui anyway to have that. Or you could maybe have it in a cabinet where you can close it when it's time for bed. Something to kind of sanctify the space when it's time to rest and meditate. So that's one suggestion. Take a look at your bedding. Is it supporting your back? Is it supporting your neck? The bed mattress itself too, not just the bedding. Speaking of what you're dressing the bed with, look at the colors. Soothing colors tend to help. So white is a good all-purpose color, but you can also match that with greens, blues, and purples. Very soothing, very protective. Purple is great for spiritual awareness and protection as well. Even black is good, it absorbs things, but I would say those soothing colors are better. You probably don't want bright yellow. It's great for an office, but it tends to keep you awake. Bright yellows, bright oranges. You want this sort of cooler end of the spectrum to help you rest and sleep. Of course, if you have your favorite colors and they make you happy, so be it. But do a little bit of an audit and make sure that the environment's good. And also, before you go to bed, create that 5 to 10 minute at least period of mental detox where you're not going to listen to the news, you're not going to have any sort of difficult conversations, you're just going to kind of like breathe and set intentions, and music can help here. Again, peaceful, joyful music. All right, let's go to your outcome. We have the Ace of Cups. Something beautiful is on the horizon for you, and it could be love and relationships. It could just be good news. This is something welcome. We see the hand receiving the Ace of Cups with joy. So really be open to receive some good news and set that expectation. Today, something wonderful could happen. I'm ready. That can be your daily affirmation. And it tells the universe that you're willing, ready, and deserving of that good news. You can put something out into the world. As we saw, you got 2 aces this month. So if you have something that you're excited about, there might be someone that's really excited to receive it as well. Be open to give and receive. Some good stuff coming forth. Let's expand the forecast now, and we'll go a little bit deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. I always start off with health, which is multifaceted. It looks at your mind, body, and spirit. Let's see what the oracle card has to say here. So we have a rhinoceros card. It's reversed. Let's pull it up to the main camera so you can read it. In very fine print here, it says moderation. Honestly, that's the most important thing. Then we'll talk about I'm picking up on sort of nose-related messages. But the moderation piece, you can think of cards that don't show a lot of moderation or control, and those would be like 9 of Cups and 3 of Cups. Having a lot of fun, right? Can also be the overworking cards, like even the 10 of Wands, where you're carrying a heavy load. So partying too much, working too much, or worrying, as we can see her doing too much, it doesn't help. A little bit of anything is fine, but when you go to an extreme, obviously it's going to create challenges. So that's the main message. And if you're having a hard time sort of finding your even ground, talk to somebody that can coach you, that can create some context, an advisor, a mentor, etc. So another standard disclaimer here that I'm not a biologist or a doctor here, but I did a little research on the rhinoceros, and the horn is made of keratin. Keratin is very similar to our nails and our hair. And out of curiosity, my intuition made me Google, well, what happens if there's like a loss of keratin in the body? What precipitates that? What's the cause of it? Stress can often be part of that. So that aligns with what we've been seeing here right in the cards here. So insomnia, overworking, possibly even causing some nutrient deficiencies in the body. It's really important for you to rest, to eat properly, and to find a way to deal with any sort of external stresses so that your body is strong and so that you can basically embrace the positive things that are also coming through this month. But that was what I picked up here. Also, when we think of like a rhino, I would also think of the nose. So if there's anything going on with your allergies or sinuses, now would be a perfect time to talk to an ear, nose, and throat specialist or allergist as well. Other things, again, generally looking at the energy here, you'll work with the professionals. Wake-up call. So whatever might have been happening either in your life or your family's life, you get to now take a different path moving forward. If you narrowly kind of got through something, you realize you're not going to, again, sweat the small stuff. You're going to focus on what's important. I think also here, this reminds me of like nutrients, vitamins, and proper input. Like just like we would put good fuel in an automobile or, take proper care of our house, we have to take care of maintenance here on our body. So input and then just general maintenance, like I was talking about, making sure that you're going to the physician, mental health appointments, making sure that you go to the dentist, like preventative maintenance is the really big key here, and keeping that in a controlled space. And again, if there was someone in your life that just didn't take proper care of themselves, they didn't deal with stress very well, they just worked too much, you don't have to follow that path. The main blessing this month is you get to make different choices. And that is your liberation, that is your freedom, that is what really kind of this lifetime is all about. So choose differently, choose wisely, and I think that will help you out. A change of scenery could help more than you might imagine. So whether that's a vacation or a move, or simply deciding, like if you're having a difficult time concentrating because of what we see here, deciding I need to be somewhere else for a little bit, that could also be very advantageous. Other than that, the cards are pretty good. Maybe pulling back a little bit on work-related travel, because the Chariot and the Six of Swords could show constant state of flux. So putting down some roots, if that's the case, if you've been traveling nonstop for work, could also be helpful. All right, that's everything for health. Let's move on to the next category, which is wealth. And we have this card coming through, reversed. Let's read it in the upright. It says, when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. When I'm happy, I attract like-minded people and opportunities that are in alignment with that happiness. Joy attracts joy. And we see that here. 2 pages, 2 aces. You just have to get to one of these sort of places, seeing the value in yourself and really looking at something around you and saying, this is what I want to focus on. Then the universe does the rest of the work, basically, right? All right, let's break this down into 3 categories for wealth. We're going to start with those that already have a traditional job. I'll probably put in entrepreneurs at the end of that. Then we'll look at job seekers and then students and retirees. So if you have a traditional job, people keeping their word is everything. Like, if you say you're going to do it, please do it. If someone else said they were going to do it but didn't, now it's time to hold them to account. However, you can do that. I really think, like I said way back at the beginning, getting a paper trail is going to be important. A handshake's not enough. And people can be oddly convincing with this, and they'll say, I don't want to get a lawyer involved, or, let's just keep it simple. Invariably, this is when things get challenging down the line. So when we're looking at business, when we're looking at money, and when we're looking at, protecting your wealth, yeah, work with a lawyer. Yes, get it in writing. And that handshake is not enough, okay? You can start with a simple conversation, but eventually it has to get to a point where it's official, right? Okay, so enough with that. That's what I see first and foremost. And so that could be you talking to a boss, you talking to a client, a coworker. Somehow we need to get a paper trail. It'll help you later. It's a great time for you to talk about getting more. You deserve it. And it's not an ultimatum. There's a big difference here. It's about expressing appreciation for where you're at, and then also reminding people why you're worth it, and doing that with a sense of positivity. I feel like they take that under consideration, and there could be a happy outcome in the end. So if you are ready for a raise or a step-up opportunity, yes. If you're feeling overwhelmed, last night I had a dream for this sign, and it reminded me of my first job, and I was very green behind the ears. It was actually my first big job, probably like my fourth job, but like the first one where I was excited to go to work. I would have done anything to protect the job and to stay there. And I did. I worked way too much. What you see here happened to me, where it was like overworking, getting sick. And it wasn't just a cold. Sometimes I even had a time where I was on antibiotics for a few months because I just couldn't get over an infection. And it works its way through the body. So thankfully I did have a good mentor there that said, it's okay. We're going to miss some deadlines and things. I'm going to advocate for help. She got the help. You don't always have that mentor there. So you may need to just speak up. And one thing that I did learn over my many years, like decade and a half of working in traditional corporate jobs, managing up to a degree can help. You can say, I see that I have 5 things you've asked me to do. Based on priorities, I think I can get this and this done. This one is a maybe. This we're going to need some help on. Can I have this person work on it? Or do you want to change up my priorities? And if they say I need all of them, say, I understand. This is what's realistic. So I just wanted to set the expectations there. So you can ask for all of it, but this is what I can accomplish. And ultimately, it's basically saying, it's your problem. I'm telling you it's not going to all get done. And eventually they're going to, and if they can't fix it, they should fix it. But if they can't, you can always try to seek help elsewhere. They may not be a good decision maker. You, however, do not need to go through this. So find a channel. We see multiple people here. There might be someone else. Power in numbers. 2 or 3 people could come through and say, hey, we're all overworked. This isn't going to work. Why are we having these, who's making these promises? We can't deliver. So in regular companies, this would be like a union, right? So maybe there's a group that can get together, or it can be a union sort of thing, or this could be an advocate like human resources. Lean on whatever official channel you need to. Don't engage in an argument, because I actually see a very positive outcome, but it could fall apart here if it goes to stress or combatant energy. A mediator can help you avoid this, okay? There are opportunities for some of you to transfer to a new division. If you don't like this, you could transfer. You could stay in the same company but go somewhere else. I do think that there are some diminishing returns on whatever it is that you've been working on. Take a step back. Don't go into panic mode. If you can rise above, I think, again, sleep on it, get a fresh perspective. You'll come back the next day and be able to solve this. Whenever you're watching this, if there's something that's going on, I feel like tomorrow will be much better than today. So my advice is, now I sound like Wilson Phillips, lots of songs today, but just hold on for an additional day and see what tomorrow brings, okay? Anything else? I don't love the management at some of the places that you're at. This kind of reminds me of a micromanager. When the chariot's in reverse, it's someone that says, okay, I trust you. You're gonna do this great. And then like 10 minutes later or 2 hours later, they're pinging you on Slack or on your text, and they're saying, where are we at? You didn't forget this, did you? And you're like, oh my God, do you trust me or do you not trust me? Do you want to do this? And keep your cool, but just remind them, we're good. I'll let you know if there's an issue. And again, sometimes you just can't change a manager like that, and it's a wake-up call if you're not happy with that. But there's no immediate danger except for stress and health, and those are pretty big. But like, I'm not looking at issues with the job here overall. It's stress management. That's the biggest thing that I'm picking up on, and people keeping their word. By the way, if there's something deceptive and someone tries to get you to do that, push right back, and that's when you get legal or HR involved on that. Okay. For entrepreneurs, here's what I see. I think you're doing too much. Burnout, it feels like you need a break. You're doing too much. As a fellow entrepreneur, I get it. There are days where you hit a wall. Sometimes if I need to split a video between 2 days, I do that. I'm like, all right, we're good here, and I'll wrap up the second part tomorrow. Just because you hit creative walls sometimes, and it's better. It's always better to come back. So my advice is, observe where that creative wall is and give yourself time and space to come back. Hire help if you can. Otherwise, less is more. Cut something out of the schedule or the production routine. It's not returning on the energy. And don't sweat the small stuff. I'll keep saying that. That's one of the main things and main themes that keeps coming through. What I love is the reaction to what you're doing. People want more. I think your biggest challenge for some of you is you underestimated demand on something, and it's like, how do I keep up? And that's why I think you might have to hire someone. I think it'll be worth it too if you can do that. So I see good word of mouth. I see good products and services. I see too much work on your side, and maybe one thing that can be pruned out of the mix so that you're working smarter. And don't beat yourself up. You missed an opportunity perhaps in the past, but I see 2 new ones that are coming through. Learn from the past, live in the present. That's a good motto, isn't it? I like it. So yes, learn from the past and live in the present. I'm going to remember that. Okay, moving on to those of you that are looking for work. First and foremost, it feels like there's a bit of rejection going in the moment right now. So this can just be someone that wasn't good in the way that they said no, or it hurts you that they just didn't get back to you. And I do believe that rejection is a form of protection and redirection. So that door closed for a reason. There's at least 1 or 2 other opportunities knocking. Expand where you're looking. 6 of Swords, different city, state, country, or province. Go outside of your borders that you would normally be looking. Go outside of the industry that you might normally be working in and repackage your skills. I also think that the only thing that's kind of challenging here is some of the roles may be a little bit more junior or below the level, but there's a lot of growth opportunity. You may also be looking, or you might want to look at a company that has a flatter organizational structure, meaning fewer titles, but the titles that exist are more empowered, and that micromanaging from the past won't exist in the future. So sometimes it can be better to have a flat organization where your title isn't so lofty, but you love who you're working with and for, you like the products, and you're empowered and you're paid well. So it's a trade-off that may be worth it, and that might be something to look at, is change up the type of company that you're looking at too. Something needs to shift in what you've been sending out. And I wouldn't focus so much on anything that you just sent or have already sent. Don't expect too much from that. Focus your trajectory in another direction, and then we see 1 or 2 bites. Keep fishing, but fish in a different lake, to switch up the metaphor, okay? And that's everything there that I have to say. Well, actually, one last thing here with the Judgment card. This can also, even though it's not justice, there might be something that doesn't smell right. We're going to go to the Rhino too. In a legal contract, get it checked out. Don't sign on something if you don't understand it. Let's go ahead now and shift to students. Students, you got to take care of yourself. Something's going on here. It could either be stress over a test, stress over a teacher, not taking, maybe you're working, because we have this kind of commerce card, and you're trying to go to school and it's too much. It feels like you're trying to split yourself into 2 different people. By the way, this could be true of those that are working too, but students especially, I'm seeing that there's too much going on. So however, you can pull in your resources a little bit so that you can focus. That's going to be That's going to be important. This could also just be a breakup or some difficult news in your family, something that went on that is distracting you. Once you properly manage that, work through it, I think things are going to work out just fine. More sleep, less activities, less obligations if possible, and that's going to help. Some of you are just homesick, and I'm validating that that's okay. It will get better. It could take at least a month, maybe even a full quarter, but by the time you're at the end of this year, I feel like you are in a happier space. It's okay to miss your family. It's okay to even feel like the rug's been pulled out underneath you. I do see success right now, though. Like, whatever you're studying, whatever you're doing, it's fine. But what's kind of coming through is emotions, how much you're committed and drawn into different directions, possibly an argument or a breakup. And these things are pulling you out of an otherwise very good reading. So working with a school counselor, psychologist, or a friend, a couple friends could help out as well. Okay, retirees, perfect time for being retired. I feel like some of you could be finding love again or new friendship. You may be deciding to start a side business, or there might be some opportunity to get paid coming in, even if you're not looking for work. I think that you're really contextualizing everything here. This could be the wake-up call. You just had it. It's in the environment. There may have been another one in the past, and you're like, I'm not going to waste one more minute on things that don't matter, because life is finite. We don't know if it's long or short, but why worry about things if you don't have to? So more focus on relationships, more focus on validating experiences, and new friends, new loves coming through your life. So let's go to that, because we're already kind of tiptoeing around it. So we're going to look at love, and we have this beautiful card that came through. It says, convey your meaning. Reflect on the way that you communicate with others. I think as we're looking at that, speaking from a place of truth and integrity, super important. And with yourself. So that's what this is. Self-validating communication. I'm worth it. I'm worthy. I'm generally feeling very good about who I am and where I'm at. And if there's something that I want to change, I'm doing it for myself, not for someone else. And then the very last piece here is saying, be sure to express your thoughts and feelings from your heart and with respect and sincerity. Ultimately, that's connecting to the page and the ace. Love, sincerity, authenticity, empathy, and like attracts like. That's going to bring more love into your life. Now let's break this down. We're going to look at 3 major relationship statuses. We're going to start off with those in a relationship, those who may be seeking love or companionship, and then those that are happily single. We're going to start off again with those currently in a relationship. You know, the first thing I'm picking up on is an argument. There may have been something that you said when you went to work or left the house, and it feels like that's still hanging in the air. This could also be an old wound, because judgment in the past, it's something that someone said, you might have let it slide, but it's been sitting there in your mind, and it's time to let it go. And the way to go about this is not to immediately go sort of on a kind of like a legal standpoint where you're the lawyer and putting them on the defensive. Put it in the energy like we talked about with this eel, where it is respect and sincerity. So I love you, I respect you, and I want our relationship to continue to grow and develop, but there's something that I need to talk to you about so that we can do that. And so now you've said, I love you and I respect you, and I feel like we can get past this, but I have to express myself. So you'll find a way. I'm not a therapist, but that's kind of the way that it's coming through based on this card. Don't meet fire with fire. If you're in this energy, what we see here is going to help. Just sleep on it. Let me pull the traditional 4 of Swords while we're talking. The original one is a little bit more peaceful, and basically it shows that if you draft a note, if you kind of think of your talking points with someone and just let it sit for a day, the second day you're always going to let some of the bitterness go, and it's just going to be the sort of salient high points that are going to be best received and understood. So see how peaceful this one is? Literally the person is kind of at peace and rest. They're going to take that one sword the next day and bring it forth and let most of the pain of the three swords above them, the Three of Swords, go away. So sleep on it. Do 1 or 2 or 3 drafts if you before having a conversation. Honestly, I feel like it's better to talk, but you can write it out and have points. I've done that in the past where you can have your phone with you or a traditional printed sheet and just say, I have a couple things I wanted to talk about. I have them outlined here so I don't lose my train of thought. Good public speakers do that all the time. Keep it super short and pause and get feedback when the time is right. Okay? So some of you may be in that energy, and I felt like I needed to go into that for a second. All right, let's look at the rest of you. If there's no argument, what else is going on? Work stress, family stress, typical life stresses. Being overworked, possibly having a cold or being sick, or getting over some sort of surgery or kind of life event. So in the case of this, you guys are pretty evenly matched. I feel like you're going to be able to support each other. The key thing here is you don't necessarily want to parent the partner, and you may not want to have that person telling you what to do. Ask, how can I be of assistance? Or would you mind helping me with this? Or would you mind giving me some space? I want to try to do this on my own. Speak up and find that fine line of control here. Whoever needs more or feels like it's being taken away, it's reclamation of that. You guys overcame something. Many of you, with judgment in the past, it could have been a loss, like loss of a loved one, loss of a child. It could have been almost breaking up at some point and deciding to stick it out. Don't let this necessarily negate the strong work that you've done. Sometimes one argument can feel like it's the end of the world, but it's not. We have a card here of taking some distance, some space, sleeping on it, coming back with love. At the end of the day, it can also be a positive parting of ways. What is it that Gwyneth did? Conscious decoupling. So what we really want to do is whatever it is, whether you're going to support each other, whether you're going to part ways, whether you just need to have a conversation, calm, clear, compassionate. If you put those things together, you're going to be all right. Okay? All right. Moving on. For those that are looking for love, can you find it? Yes. I do feel like there's a lot going on in the environment here with the Ten of Swords. Some of you may be just settling into something new into your life. You might be on the rebound. So this could be a breakup. You're moving out. You're just kind of finding peace. There could be people that just come into your life and express interest, ask you out, hit on you at a party, whatever. If you're not ready, say no. Be truthful with yourself, be truthful with others. I definitely see love coming in. Page of Cups, Page of Wands, water and fire. But there could also be that kind of oil and water or water and fire energy where they're kind of butting heads. So if you feel it, go for it. If you don't, don't. And I think that that's the main thing here that I'm seeing. The other thing is, what is it you're looking for? Because, there are a lot of options coming forth, so make sure that you're ready and you're clear. Once all that happens, though, this could get serious. I do see two parties that have equal levels of interest. One that really wants to kind of like solidify what the relationship status is, one that's just really enamored. So I do think you can move forward. I do think that there are opportunities. So don't settle for anything less than the best. If you are single and happy, good for you. I feel like this is a really good time to be single and happy. I think in this period of time, you can focus on personal healing. You can focus on personal development. There's a lot of new friends coming into your life potentially, and there is room for travel. So this is a great time. The sky is the limit. The thing that is inhibiting that is self-care, health, and stress management. So that's the main focus if you're in that area. Let's move on. We're going to go to the triple card, which represents destiny. Destiny is ever-changing. It's a trajectory that each and every month we kind of check in on and see where it's going. You have multiple options here, and one of them just fell off the table. This was the last one that seems to be moving about. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'll pull each of these up. But let me just read them, because I know many of you are like, Nicholas, but I want to know what they are. So we have, So we have the Mentor here. Then we have the Maiden. And then we have the Mother. Different sides of the spectrum. The only thing that wasn't on here was the crone, but the mentor takes on a different role, and it has less of a parental energy. The mother card keeps flying around. This is the one that I went on the floor to pick up. This is the one that just flew onto the table. This is the one that the universe wants you to pay the most attention to. So we see this beautiful pearl at the center here. Out of something that could have been irritating, challenging, or disappointing, out of something that could have hurt or not gone the way that you wanted, after a period of upheaval comes this pearl. And in this moment, you're really being asked to take care of yourself. So the Empress is not only a great leader and caretaker, but she's also someone who should and can take care of herself. So put that energy of mothering and nurturing inward. If there's anything that you need to birth or see sort of like come to fruition, this is the time to put your energy into that one pearl, okay? And then we see like some snakes around here. So this is also your ability to express your flexibility, your power, and go for it. Kundalini awakening for some of you as well. The Maiden. Some of you are getting ready to put yourself out there again. This could be why we have Page of Cups energy coming through. You may not even see the beauty, the sort of like attributes that you're putting out there to the world, but somebody is noticing. And I hope you can too. See your beauty, embrace your beauty, and feel like you are the maiden at each and every stage. Even if, and especially if you are kind of in the latter part of your life, all that changes is the wrapping. The older I get, I think that's true. We kind of stop mentally aging at a certain point, and you feel like, well, I think I'm still 29, right? That's the age that everyone wants to stay. But your body changes, but someone else is seeing beyond that as well, and I hope you can too. And don't emphasize things that other people aren't focusing on. That's what I'm getting with this. People see beauty and value and the capacity to create. All of that is coming forth. You may be stepping forward now into a period where you can teach. So with this, we could kind of ascribe it to, of course, that Empress energy, but also Hierophant energy, where people are ready and willing to take counsel, to listen, to trust you. And your integrity is where it's all coming from. So don't let go of it now, folks, okay? Beautiful energy. Mentor, maiden, mother. Fantastic. The sky is the limit, and sometimes as you step through these experiences, something that you missed and wish that you didn't, a challenge that hurts you, a move that is maybe unexpected, you gain wisdom beyond your years, and then you're able to kind of spin that straw into gold. Okay, let's go a little deeper now. We're going to look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages so that you can get a better understanding of what's going on there. And again, you can watch this for sun, rising, and moon, which is why I do this. So let's focus on those messages now. Sun, rising, and moon. Okay, let's get started. We'll begin here with sun sign. So we have a knight, and the knight is reversed. It's the Knight of Wands. Slow down and think it through before you make a decision. Before you speak, think before you speak especially. And really make sure that you've understood something soup to nuts, all parts of it. If there's something that isn't clear to you, ask. This is also a card of stubbornness. So if there's something worth fighting for, fight for it, go for it. But initially, pause, think, then move, and then we see that you're going to be able to make up for lost time in the long run, okay? There could also be someone charging at you with questions, with their own ideas, and again, all you have to do is listen. You get to choose, you get to steer the ship, because we have the Chariot coming through, but get ready to defend your ideas. For those of you that are maybe going for an advanced degree, it's kind of like having to defend your thesis. But in anything that we do, sometimes people come in and they'll say, why did you do that? Or how did you come up with this? And you can say, well, that's a great question. Buy yourself some time, organize your thoughts. You can say, well, initially I was thinking of this, I did some and then just walk yourself through the thought process and keep it simple. Don't get them lost, and then just see what they have to say. They may just want to make sure that you're sure. Sometimes people will just say, are you certain? Say, yes, I am. Okay. As we take a look here at rising, you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is still a very positive card because it represents abundance, self-sufficiency, independence, wealth. And with the card in reverse, it's saying there's no rush to get to that finish line. In fact, if you take your time to build the foundations, it's going to last longer. The traditional card has the little snail, which I pulled up here. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith card. Otherwise, it's pretty identical. This card gives you permission, if you've done the work and you have the resources, to treat yourself. So if it's a vacation, if it's some sort of an investment that makes sense in business or in your home or whatever, if you have the resources, go for it. Good for you. It's also saying slow down and enjoy just how far you've come. Take a moment to really drink in this particular opportunity or this particular achievement. Now, you can get to the 10 of Pentacles faster if you open up and receive. She's very fiercely independent, but if she accepts one little bit of external help, perhaps this could happen faster. So it's also an encouragement not to be too stubborn if someone offers that final pentacle, which we had at the center. Maybe say yes because the outcome card was pretty good. All right, let's move on to moon sign. Upright, 3 of Cups. Friends, love interests, networking, good opportunities, good word of mouth. It's positive. It's also saying have some fun. Like, just a very simple read of this is it's time to have a celebration or a party. And if you haven't hung out with a friend or a family member and you're thinking about them, text them, call them. Chances are they're going to be open to meeting up with you as well. If you are just in a new relationship, you just met someone, give it time. This is not a card of immediately going to something serious. It's saying, I just want to get to know who I'm spending time with, making sure that they have that truth and integrity that came through in this card, making sure that they respect and meet you on the level. But mostly this is just having fun. The only thing that I ever say to really avoid, even in an upright 3 of Cups, is gossip. Word travels quickly, so only say things that you want others to hear. That's just a great general rule to live by as well, so take it if you'd like to. All right, we're going to look at one last question. This is your opportunity to say, Nicholas, hey, I still need guidance in this area of my life. Luckily, I've built this into the reading, so go ahead and meditate on that question. Let me go ahead and shuffle the cards, see what Spirit has to say. You got 3 aces, folks. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and now the Ace of Wands. As a yes or no, this is a definite yes. It also speaks to other things, though. This can represent a light bulb moment. So if you have an epiphany, if something is just amazingly clear, you owe it to yourself to follow through on that. It's like Spirit giving you a baton in a relay race and saying, are you ready to take it to the next level, to the next person? It can also be your chance to realize you finished something. Maybe you got to that 10 of Pentacles moment and it's saying, I'm ready to birth it, because we did get that divine feminine energy coming forth and the bee that showed up earlier too, right? So it's time to release it into the world. Take that ace and fan the flames and make sure that we can turn this into a torch to light the path for abundance. New ideas, new opportunities, something that's bringing forth passion and excitement. This is a definite yes and a really great way to end this reading. That brings us to a close. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I read everything, and it's great to see how this resonated with you. You can also give me a follow on social media so you never miss out on a future notification. If you would like to show some love and support, you can do a super sticker, super chat, or become a member. All of those help basically fund new videos, help me rebuild my studio, and it just means a lot, so thank you very much. Keep an eye out for anybody that pretends to be me. If they try to send you a message and ask for something, you can block and report. That isn't me. Before we sign off, I'm going to go and see if I can get Apollo to turn around, and then we will say goodbye for today. Hold on. He's just enjoying the view, and we're going to let him do that. So as we wrap up here, I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me today, continuing to work on yourself, and being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I'm going to let Apollo take us out for today, wishing you a lot of love and support. Until next time, take care.